And hello everybody, it is I, NikoTheLegend, also known as the well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, the rambling idiot, and the newly added Vigil. Hello, welcome everybody. We are going to be talking about why Mass Effect 1 needed the most work in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Yes, why indeed? Why was the first and foremost of the Mass Effect franchise, why did it need the most work done to it, and just why, and why? That's pretty much what we're going to be talking about in this article today. Before we get started, hi, I'm NikoTheLegend. If you like what you see today, feel free to subscribe to the NikoTheLegend channel with a good old little click there, or like, comment, or whatever. I appreciate it, and I'm here all day, guys. Much obliged. The links will be down below if you want to find more things on Nico. Now, let's get to talking about Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm going to do my best here to give you the summarized version, and for those of you that already know about this, then, this is just pretty much beating a dead horse. But, and also I've gone over this countless times and way bigger articles that have way more information in it. But if you want to narrow it down to just one video like what I'm doing right now, it's nice to just do that once in a while to kind of just, file your laundry. Decide which one you're going to tackle first. Laundry, don't you hate it? So, why did Mass Effect 1 Why did it need the most work in the Legendary Edition? Well, as you all know, the Legendary Edition is supposed to be remastering all three games, and a lot of the times remastering can go, both ways. Either it can be a lazy cash grab remaster, which it doesn't look anything better. Maybe all it has is just uncapped frame rate, but sometimes you don't even get that. Or it can go the other way, where they actually do put the time into it. They try to make it look better, more modernized, optimized for current generation consoles or especially computers and PCs. That's a very big deal. A lot of old games can't handle being on new computers these days that well, because it's just, that is in the past. That it was meant to be made for this certain technology and not this new and improved technology. And it just doesn't age. Sometimes it does age well, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's definitely a tug of war battle, and especially on consoles too. Consoles have improved dramatically since Mass Effect 1 came out. We're on 2 console generations later. You go from the 360 to the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X. So Mass Effect and Shepard and gang have a lot to look forward to with this Legendary Edition. Now, what this article is trying to say down here below is the issues with the original Mass Effect. It's dated, guys. It's a dated game. It's old. It's 14 years old, or coming up, whatever. Happy anniversary, Mass Effect. Happy 14th anniversary. It's an old game. I can't stress that enough. And especially being a game, the first in the franchise, look, when it came out originally, we didn't think anything of it, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's the first game. We don't know what the sequels or the threequels or the quadrils are going to look like. But when it first came out, I had no complaints about the game and what we're about to dive into here. Now, when the second and third game comes out, Mass Effect kind of loses its grace. Not in terms of story or character design or anything, but just the gameplay mechanics, driving around the Mako, and some of the philosophies that went along with the game's core gameplay style, which had a lot of exploration in it, but it just wasn't too exciting for a lot of people, especially when the Mako was just frustrating, and it became a huge meme. And there are some people out there that are frustrated that it's getting updated and they can't meme about it anymore. But I got news for those people. You can just keep playing the original one. Boom, man, you got best of both worlds. So, some examples of what has not aged well in Mass Effect 1. I still think it looks to be a great looking game still. I still think it looks great. I think the graphics, to me, personally, has aged well. But now it's going to look even better. It's going to get the most reworked treatment because it is the oldest of the few and definitely stands out compared to the other 2 Mass Effect games. And you can definitely look at those other videos I did that do the comparison screenshots. And you can look it up all online and comparison videos and, blah, blah, blah. That's all there. But Mass Effect, Mass Effect 1, there was just a lot of things, like I said. Think of it as like your Mario 64. You compare it to Sunshine, you compare it to Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and it's a night and day difference. This is the first step into this new franchise, this new generation of players and consoles when it came out back in the day, and it was just so awesome and exciting. And they just want to make it even more better than it was before, a more modernized experience. They don't want you to relive those frustrating moments with the Mako, or where your gun just can't, it just sprays and prays and can't even hit its target completely. I get it, there's a lot of tabletop rules here, a lot of toss of the dice, some RNG stuff, but that frustrated a lot of people. Now, I, for one, didn't mind it too much. I was okay. I understood why they did it. And I've known some people, some friends that enjoyed the more RPG style of this game. And it's not being completely rewritten, okay? It's just being improved upon. Okay, they are not replacing anything that you love so much from the first game. They're just trying to make it better and less frustrating for you guys. I can't stress that enough. So you've got the combat mechanics, the driving mechanics, you got the graphics that they need to be improved, to look more to aesthetically pleasing like Mass Effect 2 and 3 did. 3 definitely, to me, looks the best. That's when they mastered the Unreal 3 engine in that game. Compared to the first and second game, they were still trying to tap into its great power. And BioWare just thought it deserved the best treatment that it could possibly get. So I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, I'm like, I listed some examples of what made Mass Effect 1, so frustrating. Like I said, gameplay mechanics, the driving, and then walking around is pretty slow too. You can't sprint, in or out of combat. You can't jog, or you are jogging, but it's very slow. Mass Effect 1 is a lot slower of an experience. So, the improvements are there, how the original Mass Effect is improved. Better melee attacks, running out of combat, Mako gets totally reworked to where it's not so obnoxious. The graphics, I can't stress that enough. People are thinking that the Mass Effect 1 is a remake, but it's not. It's just the most superb version of the Unreal 3 engine. It's the best looking version of Mass Effect 1 thanks to Unreal 3, and then, BioWare trying to doing a great job making it look to match the other games. I can't stress that enough. And that's why, they don't want it to be such a ugly game. And I didn't think it was an ugly game, but maybe to them they were like, compared to Mass Effect 2 and 3, yeah, this game definitely looks, stands out, the ugly duckling pretty much. But hey, the classic will always be the classic, and it's what started it all. Now, there are plenty of other examples too to go over, but the main thing is, to me, honestly, folks, that Mass Effect 1 needed the most improvement on was not even the exploration, not even the Mako. Those were up there, but it was just the gameplay, the shooting mechanics. It was very clunky. There's a lot of just spraying and praying, and I'm glad BioWare is paying close attention to that, because like I said, it's a night and day difference when you go from Mass Effect 1 to 2. The combat in Mass Effect 2 and 3 are way more intense, way more in your face, and it's just quicker, faster, smoother, and it's not as clunky. Cover mechanics are definitely a lot better in those games, and you're just able to move around more, Now, like I said, first in the franchise, I get it. And they were going with a more RPG aesthetic style, to where it wasn't all about doing all the jukes, the dodges, and, all that stuff. It was just about using the stats, using the gun stats, character stats, really utilizing the RPG mechanics of all that, and how everything just flows together. But nowadays, it's like, I could see some people, being not wanting to play the first games because of how, like I said, how much of an improvement it became in the second and third game. So, real quick, there's only so much I could talk about this because, if you want to know the big, massive details on what's being improved in Mass Effect 1, the videos I did before that talk about the graphical enhancements and the gameplay enhancements videos, they're like, I think 15 to 20 minutes long each. The links will be down below. That will go in all the fine details. I'm kind of just summarizing why it needs to, get the facelift that needed. So, issues with the original Mass Effect: gameplay mechanics, driving, pacing, graphics. Okay, those are just listing a few, and it's a bit of an issue, And then, like I said, exploration was a little boring. Now, things that have been improved: everything I just listed before, the graphics, the gameplay, the Mako. Running out of, the pacing and all that, trying to be more modernized with the second and third game. To its core, it still will be Mass Effect 1, but it'll play a lot better, and it'll be a lot more enjoyable, and perhaps less frustrating. And I almost forgot, the retweaked boss fights, okay? It's going to be more realistic. Things are going to be changing in the arenas a little bit. Be more, I guess you can say, fair. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. I don't mind that. And just a more enjoyable time to where it's not just like this difficulty spike out of nowhere and you're like, well, I'm kind of screwed. For example, the Matriarch Benezia fight is a prime example of playing on Insanity mode, which, if you guys are doing that, it was a pain in the butt. That fight can be a pain in the butt no matter what, because there's barely anywhere to go. So I'm actually excited to see what they did with that. But I did a video talking all about the boss fights being retweeted. I hope you check that out as well. Anyway, folks, before I keep rambling on and on and on, like we all appreciate, these are the reasons why Mass Effect 1 needed the most work in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It's the oldest of the three. It stands out among the rest. It's the ugly duckling to an extent, in terms of gameplays and aesthetics, if we're comparing the other two to the two newer games. And yeah, that's pretty much it, folks. So why else let me know what you guys think. Why else does Mass Effect 1, why did it need the most work in the Mass Effect Legendary Edition? Why do you think BioWare paid the most attention? I would like to hear all the other stuff that you guys have learned about this for maybe some of the people out there that don't know too much about Mass Effect 1, educate them, enlighten me. I would like to know some further details. Even though I've done a bunch of stuff on this, there could have been something I easily overlooked. So I appreciate that, guys. I have been your host, NikoTheLegend, also known as the well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, the rambling idiot, and the newly added Vigil. I appreciate it, guys. We're less than a month away, and I can't wait for this to come out. You better believe those streams are coming. Oh, yeah. Photo mode on Miranda's butt, that'll be me. Creep, creep.